Good evening and welcome to my channel. So tonight I'm going to be talking about the deity Nyx. And I'd like to start off by saying that usually when people talk about working with a dark deity, there's a sense of warning, like do research, be cautious on who you're inviting in. And that is absolutely valid. Some deities do require deep preparation and a strong sense of boundaries. But I want to start off by saying, in my experience with Nyx, it felt very different. So yes, she is classed as a dark goddess. And yes, she is mighty and powerful. She's ancient and certainly not to be taken lightly. But she is not cruel or chaotic, at least not in my experience. So, my experience with Nyx has been gentle and steady. She can help move things forward, especially when things have been blocked or uncertain, but it's never aggressive. She is strong, but she's calm, and I don't think that you can really go wrong in working with her, especially if you come in with respect and honesty. So, who is Nyx? Well, Nyx was born from chaos, and she was one of the first beings to ever exist. She is slightly different to the deities that you may know from Greek mythology. She was around long before them, and Nyx is basically the personification of night itself. She is often described as being like a winged goddess, so she kind of looks a bit gothy, like a gothic angel, and sometimes she's depicted as a woman wearing a veil of stars surrounded in darkness or mist. And Nyx's power is mighty and strong, but Nyx is not loud and she moves in silence. You don't see her coming, but her effects are loud. And one way to explain this better is the very famous story of Hypnos and Zeus, king of the gods. So Hypnos is one of Nyx's children. He's the god of sleep. And as the story goes, Hypnos was asked to put Zeus in a deep slumber. However, Zeus is king of the gods. He is mighty powerful, and it didn't quite work on him. And when Zeus awoke, he was mad. And he went after Hypnos. And Hypnos didn't stand a chance against Zeus on his own. So he had no choice but to flee to his mother's cave in the underworld. And that's where Nyx resides. When Zeus arrived, he did not dare enter. He felt Nyx's presence and he backed away and he left it alone because he knew that he would not stand a chance against Nyx. So that gives you an idea of what Nyx is about. She's silently powerful. People don't even try her. They won't even try her because you won't win. She's too powerful. And her mere presence and her energy speaks for itself. So speaking of Nyx's children, Nyx gave birth to multiple mighty, powerful spirits and deities. I've already mentioned Hypnos, but some other famous deities that you may already know about, like the Fates. Everybody's heard of the Fates. Those are Nyx's daughters. Moros, the god of doom, Eris, strife, Thanatos, death, and many, many more. But one of the children that I'd like to draw your attention to is Hemera. Now, Hemera is one of the light goddesses that Nyx gave birth to. Most of them are dark entities, but Hemera is a light goddess, and she is the goddess of daylight. And the story goes that Nyx rides her chariot across the sky and brings us the night time, and her daughter Hemera sweeps across the sky at dawn, bringing us daylight. And what this represents is balance. You can't have light without the dark. The light and dark are not enemies. They love each other. They work well together, and it's all about balance. So that's a very important aspect of Nyx, and her relation to her children. When you're working with Nyx, one of the most important aspects of working with her, and one of the biggest things that she brings you, is balance. If you're working on a situation, or you're calling in a manifestation, or you're doing affirmations and you're not seeing any movement, the reason is because you're not balanced. And that's what Nyx will help you with. And that's why she's so magical, because when you work with her, things just start falling into place because she helps bring it to you. If you're having trouble balancing things because you're going through a traumatic time, she'll help move things around so you can find that balance, and then the magic will come to you. So, reasons you may want to work with Nyx. The first one is shadow work. Understanding your fears and breaking illusions and working on trauma from your past that may be holding you back or blocking your progress. The next is clarity and confusion. She'll help you see through the fog if you're dealing with confusing dilemmas or just people's bullshit. She'll help you cut to the truth. Dream work. She can bring prophetic dreams and night visitations. I want to say that in my experience, when I started researching her, I was just researching her because I was interested in her. I didn't think I would work with her. And she started coming to me in my dreams. Now, I don't remember my dreams usually. I'm not someone who wakes up and remembers my dreams. I wish I was, but I've never been one of those people. I never remember them. But when I was researching Nyx, I started having really vivid dreams. And that was her coming to me and letting me know that, you know, I can help you, work with me. And boy, has she helped me, but I'll get to that later. Another thing she helps with is peace and solitude. So she helps you find comfort in being alone, because sometimes you need to retreat in order to heal. You know, if you're around toxic people, you're in toxic friendship circles, toxic workplaces, relationships, even family members, she will help you retreat and find your value in being alone, because the only way you can break away from it or break those cycles is to remove it from your life. And sometimes you do just have to be alone. And then when you've done the healing and you've done the work and you go back out, what you'll find is you start attracting people on your wavelength who are much better for you and much more positivity. Like, positivity will come to you, but you have to work on it, and you have to say no more bullshit, no more toxic friends. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm done. It's okay to be alone. Sometimes you need to be alone for a while, get to know yourself, recover. And when you've done that, you'll find that when you do start going back out into the world and reaching out, people that match your vibration will be reaching back, and it will just be so much better. So that's a big thing that she helps with. Another thing she can help with is banishing. So it's kind of similar to what I just said, like letting go of toxic attachments, releasing what no longer serves you. And of course, protection. Her protection is subtle but powerful and shielding. So ways that you can honour Nyx or worship her is actually very simple. Nyx isn't a demanding goddess. She doesn't demand physical or materialistic offerings. I find that working with Nyx, it's more about your presence, working on yourself and healing. And like I said a million times already, balance. She loves to see balance, because when you balance yourself, that's when the magic flows to you. And Nyx is very magical. She's very cosmic. She's got these, very powerful, miraculous kind of vibes where, if you work on yourself and you're balanced and you can get yourself into a peaceful, accepting peace of mind, so many beautiful things will come to you. So, ways you can work with Nyx, and I haven't said this, I might have touched on my intro video, that a lot of people who are going down the spiritual path or working with deities feel that they can't be open about it for whatever reason, your living arrangements, whatever, you feel that you have to hide it. Therefore, you don't need to buy statues or an altar for Nyx, one thing you can just very simply do is go outside in the evening. Go outside, look up at the sky, say a little prayer to her in your head, or just talk to her. Another thing you can do is do a little bit of journaling, but aim it towards her and talk to her and say, this is what's going on in my life right now. This is what I could do with some support with. Please, can you help me? I'd be so grateful if you would. Help guide me. Leave it on your windowsill overnight. And that could be a nice intro, a nice start with Nyx. But honestly, like, I personally just talk to her as if I was talking to a friend or a family member. I just talk and I tell her about what's going on. And that's kind of how you build your relationships with deities. If you would like to leave physical offerings, some good ideas are dark chocolate, dark honey, eggs, bread, black tea, black coffee. Obviously, she represents the night, so depictions of the night sky, stars, the moon, dark countryside landscapes, or even artwork that depicts her. All deities love artwork that depicts them. So, yeah, you could get a picture, print it out and stick it on your wall, or have it under your pillow, or put it on your windowsill. You don't have to, but it's just a nice thing to do. In terms of crystals, she is associated with crystals like moonstone, selenite, black crystals like obsidian, black tourmaline, protective crystals, smoky quartz, tiger's eye, cat's eye. She's associated with all of those, but again, you don't have to do that. It's just if you want to create an altar, or you want something physical to look at that reminds you of her, those are some good ideas. But follow your intuition. You can't go wrong. A lot of people try and say you need to do this, you mustn't do that. That's not the case. And also, if you'd like to light a candle for her, do it. I tend to light little tea lights every now and then. I don't always light candles, but if you'd like to, go ahead. People might say, oh, use black candles, but again, whatever colour's fine. If all you've got is a green or a yellow candle, light the candle and dedicate it to her. She won't mind. It's fine. Do whatever you've got, whatever you feel comfortable doing, it's fine. She will be fine with it. Nyx's nature is very calm and accepting. She's not demanding. And honestly, like I said at the beginning, you cannot go wrong with her. As long as you're respectful, you're grateful, and you're building a relationship with her, you can't go wrong. Trust me. She doesn't get mad. It takes a lot to annoy her. And, she's known for being motherly. She's got a motherly nature, and you will feel very loved and supported when you work with her. She honestly is such a beautiful presence and energy. So when I call upon her energy, I feel very zen all of a sudden. She's just so calming. Honestly, wonderful, beautiful presence. She's just amazing. She is amazing. So, talking about my experience with Nyx, I have found that she's kind of an all-rounder in terms of what you can go to her about. You can go to her about anything. Success at work, love, romance, justice, removing blocks, calling in your manifestations. She's a massive blockbuster in terms of if there's stagnation in your life, or just something that's going wrong and it's out of your control, there's nothing you can do. If you pray to Nyx, you will see movement, you'll break through it. And as I said before, she's not chaotic or aggressive. You will see movement, and you will see movement quickly, and it will happen so effortlessly and gracefully. And it's only when it's over that you'll be like, oh my God, it's resolved. She fixed it. And I didn't even, sometimes you don't even realise it's being fixed when it's being fixed. And it just happens so quickly. And I've experienced this with two very big, serious situations in my life. And I never did any spell work with her. I literally just prayed to her and talked to her. And I went to her about both situations just the one time. And I talked in detail about it. And my God, she honestly, to me, she's brought 2 miracles. And she's just so strong. And she can kind of fix anything. And she can help with any area in your life. You know, some deities are known for concentrating on one area, but with Nyx, she can help with everything. Honestly, you can go to her about anything. So I don't really have much more to say about Nyx right now. I think I'm going to listen to this back and think, oh, I forgot this, that and the other. But I think that's a good starter if you're interested in working with Nyx. I think this is a good way to start. I hope this is helpful. If there's any questions you want me to answer, drop them in the comments and I'll get back to you. I might do another video for the bits that I've missed out, because I know that I have. But like I said at the beginning, you cannot go wrong in working with Nyx. You can go to her about anything and everything, and she is so loving and kind and easy to work with and so powerful. You know, honestly, you will see results. If there's a specific situation in your life which feels impossible, take it to Nyx and see what happens. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. Until next time, goodbye.